And now, it's like anybody can be that star in their own right. So that's what I feel. Do you feel that it's hurt the business with the way that the industry is now, that we really can't create that next mega star, like where everyone
Well,
has that sort of same playing field now?
yeah, I mean, here's what I think. I think that are there some drawbacks to the advent of this incredible world of social media?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, but the other side of it is that if we don't get with it and we don't do like what we're doing and we don't kind of figure it out, if we
Mm-hmm.
resist it, then we go the way of the dinosaur. You know what I mean? And it's tricky for our age bracket because the kids, the guys, not kids, but the generation that's even just like 10 years below me,
Mm-hmm.
they they kind of grew up with all this, the social media. It's part of their vernacular. It's the way they think. It's literally they use words that aren't even words, that just are things that are part of social media now. And that's amazing. And I feel like I'm going backwards and having to play catch up to stay on top of the tools. Because the
Mm-hmm.
reality is like I was saying, if 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 I if I meet my match in an audition room,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 20 years ago, it came down to, gosh, who's right for this part? Who's right for this part, and who killed the audition? Who
Mm-hmm.
who who laid it out? They're both right for the part, but this guy really laid it out. He's getting the job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are other things in the equation that I would rather not have be part of the equation. Now, maybe if I had 20 million followers, I'd be like, yeah, let that be part of the equation because it helps me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're up against somebody and you go in and you throw down and you do everything you can and you destroy that audition, and the next guy comes in and you gave a 10, but the next guy comes in and he gives an 8, but he's got 15 million followers,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably going to get the job, you know?
Well, I
And
mean,
that's
this is
that's
this
what
is the
we're up
thing. Like
against, you know?
every industry, as we know, has a level of competition. So for you, then, with that point, what you just made, how do you, for you personally, how do you stand out among that competition, in your opinion?
Well, all I feel like all I can do is do great work. And the other thing is not make excuses and not feel sorry for myself for anything. And
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes down to it, if I have a dream, if I have stuff I want to accomplish, then don't let anything stop me. Don't wait for a producer to say yes. Just make it. Just
Mm-hmm.
use your network, use the people that you know, use your what Richard Lawson calls the relationship map, and you know connect the dots and make magic. You don't have to wait for somebody else to come along and give you permission to do what you love. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just do what you love and get motivated. That's the thing that's hard for me. And this is actually something I struggle with, is staying motivated. Like I wish The Rock and 50 Cent and some of those guys that just seem to be on go all the time. I wish I could
Mm-hmm.
bottle that up because you know what's hard for me sometimes is just to stay motivated, to just keep chewing away at it, to keep exceeding
Grinding.
my expectations. You know what I mean?
So
And
what do you feel for you has been like your biggest difficulty, and even for somebody that is looking to get into this business, the difficulties you find as an actor?
excuses, excuses, and blame. I feel like those are the things that let us off the hook. If you can blame somebody else, and if you can make excuses for why it didn't go the way it should have, it's like you let yourself off the hook and you don't move. So, like I said, I think it's the staying active, training, hard work, and not making excuses, and don't take and then the other thing is like be the guy that people want to work with too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have the opportunity, because we all have them, when you have the opportunity to make impressions, make an impression that makes people go, I want to work with that guy again.
Hmm.
And when they're off casting their next thing or directing their next thing or writing their next thing, that they go, God, you know, it was so much fun working with that guy.
Well, it's what we talked about before about winning the
Yeah,
room. Like about winning the room is the most important thing. Where you may not get the job, but if you
yeah,
win the room and people say, you know what, like this guy may not be the the right guy for this project, but he brought something that we like in the sense of his performance, but we also like his energy and everything as a person.
yeah,
Could eventually open
yeah,
up another door.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, the thing that's hard now is that everything is, and I'm still learning the skill set, but um, now that damn near everything is self tapes,
And
right?
Zoom.
You know, and Zoom and stuff like that. Winning the room is different. So
Hmm.
and by the way, this isn't going to be the end of it either. Like it feels like how can we evolve any further than where we already are? But it will, and it's going to get to. There's going to be another new thing in the next handful of years that'll be like, oh, we have to do this now. So what we have to do is just stay relevant and stay on top of stuff. And that's why I think it's really important to be, you know, in an acting class with a working actor, you
Hmm.
know, with a teacher who is out there doing it today, as opposed to going, hey, let me give you some tips from when I was an actor 30 years ago. Um, you know, be in an acting class with somebody that knows what's happening today. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's different. What's happening now is very different. Like,
Different.
you know, like we talked about, like you just mentioned, winning the room is my favorite part of auditioning was winning the room, and not the audition, not the acting, but just going in and being like connecting with people. That's where
Hmm.
I shine. You know, connecting with people, making people go, because this is what they're going to do. I mentioned this to you before, but you're going to go in and they're going to go, all right, so is the rest of the cast and the director and myself going to want to spend the next 2 months with this person,
Hmm.
day in, day out? Do I want to deal with this person? And if the answer is unequivocally, unequivocally, that's right, yes, then you're golden. You
Hmm.
know, if you go in and they're like, okay, that person is a mess, or they're an asshole, or they're, you know, curt, or they, you know, don't have a sense of humor, or whatever. You just want to be the person that when you walk out, they go, man, I want to hang out with that person, you know.
Guys, if you want to ask a
And on top of
hold
it, they're a great actor, you know.
Guys, if you want to ask a question, I will be taking some callers. In order for you to do so, you have to be following both accounts at DTEFLON and at Shane Johnson. Drop me a question below. Leave your message, and we'll take some callers in towards later at the end of this call. Continue what you're saying.
No, that was it. I just think that now with things being on self tape, it's, you know, as an actor, you have to, and it's true of interviews too, of any jobs. Like everything
Hmm.
has changed, you know. So we have to find our new way in, to be successful. And so if we're self taping, then how do you stand out in your self tapes? One of the things that's been funny to Keely and me is that over the last while, since everything moved, obviously with COVID, everything moved
Hmm.
to, hey, we're just self taping.
Yeah.
So casting directors are like doing a totally different job than they used to. Now they're just like taking digital submissions and watching a few seconds of a clip and then going next, right? I'm imagining that's probably what's happening. But but so one of the things that they started doing is with the breakdown, they'll say, um, no, because people started getting creative, right? In their auditions, they started going, well, how can I make this stand out?
Hmm.
How can I stand out? So people would get creative with their outfits and with their props and trying to make little movies and actually make things believable and have great lighting and great sound and like full on productions to try and get these jobs. And so now what they started doing is like, hey, uh, just really simplify stuff. No props, no sound effects, no. You know, they're just trying to strip it all down to the basics again, which is funny because I can imagine, not that we did that over here, but I
Hmm.
imagine what must have been happening in the casting offices is they were going like, what are we looking at? Because
Hmm.
things must have just gotten so intense with people like going, oh, I'm auditioning for a war movie, and they're just like diving through the brush and taking shots and mortars going off and stuff for an audition, and they're like going, hey, can we just see you say those lines, please? Can we keep it simple?
So
But
how do
but
you, sorry, continue.
no, I was just saying, but the thing is like, how do we, that being said, they don't want us to go full on make productions, but what they do want is for us to connect with them and sell them on our ability to do this particular job. And when you can't win the room, with small talk or with your
Hmm.
energy inside of a space, how do you do it via a camera in a
Hmm.
few seconds? Because the only thing that they give you is like, say your name, height, location, and if you're vaxxed or not, and if you're willing to travel, if you're a local hire, whatever those basic crap is that they ask you to say, and then you just do your audition.
Hmm.
So like, where's your personality? Where's the connecting with another human being? Where's the sale? And so I think that is the next thing, is people really figuring out how to, in a very small way, whether it's how you say your name, how you sort of tell them where you're at, throwing in a little bit of personality, like, even just little shifts on that
Hmm.
are gonna sell. Like the difference between me going and going, hi, my name's Shane Johnson. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm 6'2", and I'm 500 pounds. Between the difference between doing that, right,
Hmm.
doing that, and being really sort of serious and straightforward, and being like, okay, so I'm Shane Johnson. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm 6'2" on good days, and I have some weight to me, but I'm not going to tell you. That's so much more interesting to me. Like somebody that's
Hmm.
going, oh, he's giving me the information I asked for, but he also is a person, and he's
Hmm.
fun, and he's charming, and because otherwise it's all just like down to, okay, let's go check out his Instagram. How many followers does he have? And can he say the lines without falling on his face? You know what I mean?
Hmm. So,
Um,
but I mean, do you find, obviously, since you've had time, and we all have had time now to sort of make that adjustment from self-tape to in the room, do you prefer now the self-tape more than being in the room again, or do you miss being in the room more?
I miss being in the room, 100%. My success rate being in the room is like, is awesome, and I feel like it's like VOs. Like when you do a VO audition,
Hmm.
and they get 1,000 submissions. How do you weed through